Here we go. I don't know if my voice is going to hold up. We'll see. So here we are. Financial Fitness Fridays with D.E. Wild, and I am D.E. Wild. So happy to be back in action. Well, I'm always in action. I've been doing my Financial Fitness Friday for several months now. And I've been doing my Hour of Power for we'll be pushing a year pretty soon. Not so far in the distance. So this is a wonderful thing. This is yes. So I got a fantastic message tonight. Oh, I, I like to think I got a fantastic message every session, but this is a great. Tonight is such a great one because tonight I got two sessions in one. Two very important messages that is going to impact people's lives right here, right now, in the moment. Because we are living in interesting time and ever changing times. And in these times, now more than ever, it's going to be required for us to be very agile, flexible, having the ability to adjust and to pivot on notice, at will, in the moment. And these messages are going to speak to just that. So it's going to be a powerful. And once again, my Financial Fitness Fridays are not get rich quick advice, not advice on how to buy the most advantageous stocks and bonds and things of that nature. It's a little more simplistic than that. It's how to level up your life and go from where you're at to where you ultimately will be. And yes, it will include stock, bonds, and financial advisors and all that, because at some point in your life, when you accomplish your goals, all those things will come into play. But right now, this is about mindset shift and getting into the right mindset that is going to prepare you for all of those things to come. So once again, I'm happy that you could join me. I'm just as a disclaimer, I have a sore throat that is now is forming. And one of the many things that I do is I have a after school enrichment program for young kids. And if you know anything about working with young kids, every once in a while you have to raise the tone of your voice. And every once in a while it will take a toll on your voice. And this is this is the time for me. So bear with me if I have to take a swig of something to drink. libation. And let's get started. Tonight's session. Well, again, thank you for joining me. I am D. Wild. This is Financial Fitness Friday, financial fitness for your future. And I'll just have the powerful session. You got to stay with me. You got to stay with me to follow where I'm going and where I'm leading you to. Okay. So tonight's session, the first part is about how to level up your life and leave behind the things that can pull you back. Oftentimes, it's people's own mindset. So once again, I tell you, we're in a mindset shift moment in life. And if you don't shift the way you think, I can assure you not many things is going to change in your life. First session, how does self-worth connect to net worth? Preventing the poor man mindset. Ooh, we're going to get into this because so many people are saddled with the poor man mindset, so to speak. The mindset that say, I can't. That won't happen to me. I'm not going to get that. I can't go there. I can't do that. I can't afford that. All those I can'ts is a mindset. Because I can assure you that the majority of people who can were in a position one point in their life where they could not. But the difference is they did not let the could not penetrate their mindset to prevent them from doing so. It's all a matter of mindset. This is what we're talking about today. How does your self-worth connect to your net worth? So welcome back, family, friends, and fraternal souls. This is D.E. Wilder, and this is Financial Fitness Fridays. And today we're going to have a real conversation. Conversation is not about investing. It's not just about money or wealth. It's not just about success. It's about something much deeper. Most of my conversations are. We always go deeper, but it's about something beneath the surface. Because today we're talking about the mindset and how it affects your spirit. So we're asking this question. Let's start with a question. How does your self-worth connect to your network? Your net worth. And more importantly, how do you prevent yourself from having a poor man's mindset? Even if you grew up short on funds, even if you made financial mistakes in your life, even if you are at the point in your life where you're rebuilding, some people even get to a point where they have to start again, so to speak, and that's okay. But let me be clear and let me say this right here and right now. A poor man mindset is not just about funding and finances and income. It's more about identity and your mindset. Because you can have millions and still think small. You can be broke and still think abundantly. You know, net worth is just external. Self-worth is internal. And that internal always affects and create the external. Take that in for a minute, because everything I talk about is about the mindset, and the mind is a powerful thing. The mind can create and think and accomplish great things, or you can allow your mind to hold you back, and you end up accomplishing nothing. This is about the mindset shift that is going to help you accomplish all that your heart desires. Let's go to work. So, the root identity before income. That's where it starts. Your financial ceiling will rarely rise above your identity. Why? Because if you secretly believe, and this is your mindset, and you say things to yourself, self-talk, I'm not good with money. People like me we don't become wealthy. You know, rich people, they're greedy. They want it all. You know, I always mess things up. I don't seem to get things right. Then your actions will subconsciously prove you right every single time. Self-worth determines what you think you deserve, what you tolerate, what you negotiate for yourself, what you invest in, and whether or not you invest in yourself, and what you walk away from. If you don't believe you deserve wealth, you will sabotage wealth every single time. And most of the time, it won't even be intentionally. But predictably, a poor man mindset says, spend now, impress others, avoid learning. We don't need to know that. Blame circumstances, fear investing or the unknown, in developing financial fortitude, and stay put, stay in your place, stay comfortable. A wealthy man mindset says, delay gratification, invest in growth, not only in financial growth, but in yourself. Seek knowledge and take responsibility. That's accountability. Build assets. Think long term. You see, you notice something with the difference in mindset? Very stark difference in the two mindsets that in the end will make all the difference. None of the required money to begin what you need to do. It's going to require a certain mindset. So let's reflect for a moment. You have to ask yourself, do I see myself as someone capable of managing wealth? Everyone thinks about their life. If I have, if I do, if I accomplish, or when I get to a certain place. And we always think about that. And we always think about the fruits of that. All the things that you can do and all the things that you can have and all the places you can go. But most people don't think about the responsibility that comes with it. This is why we're talking about mindset shift, because we're not just getting ready for the success to come, but we're getting into the right mindset to be prepared to be a good steward over the success to come. Or do I see wealth as something that happens for others, and to others. And be honest with yourself. You can't lie to yourself. People think they can lie to themselves, but you can't lie to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Because if you say, well, I don't see myself, and I don't see that happening to me. Okay, well, that's where you're at now. And you start working on shifting your mindset, shifting your understanding. And then you go from feeling like I can't accomplish this and getting stronger with your mind and fortitude to get into an understanding that I can. Oftentimes, I can requires you to level up in getting information, getting knowledge, reading, and investing in yourself, taking a course, whatever it takes to get to the point where you start getting a better understanding of the things you want and where you want to go and how you're going to accomplish it. That builds confidence. And as you build the confidence, now you're going to start slowly shifting from the mindset of I can't to, I can, I got this, I can do this. That's normally how it works. Because honesty is the doorway to transformation. Very simple. So, what is the psychology of scarcity? If scarcity is loud, scarcity whispers, there's not enough. If they win, then I must lose. I have to grab what I can when I can. I got to get what I can get right now. I'll never catch up. Scarcity creates urgency without a strategy. It creates spending without structure. It creates comparison without clarity. A poor man mindset focuses on what is missing. Glass is half empty, as opposed to the glass is half full. A wealthy man mindset focuses on the possibilities, what's to come. So here's the truth. Money amplifies who you really are. That's a fact. Once you get into the point where you can have what you want and do what you want, it's really just going to represent who you are, whether you know it or not. And if lack of discipline, and if you have that, more money will certainly expose that. And it will be very clear. If you lack confidence, more money magnifies that insecurity. If you lack vision, more money accelerates chaos and lack of vision. That's why self-worth must come first. The mindset must come first. Because net worth without self-worth is very fragile. And oftentimes, we've seen it so many times, and in the news more often than not. Right now, we're seeing it often. People who have it and lose it. They have it and lose it by making silly mistakes, doing things that they should not even be doing, because that's just speaking to their insecurities. Really is. Because let me tell you something. If you have the knowledge, the know-how, security, and you put all the time and effort to build something, you're not going to let that fall apart for nothing, for nobody. Because you're going to know how much time and effort it took you to get where you were and to accomplish what you did. That's a fact. So let's pause for a second. It gives me a moment to get something to drink. As I mentioned, my throat is getting sore. I don't know if that helped. And I got 2 sessions tonight. So let's pray that I get to it. So if tomorrow someone came and handed you $1 million, I like the way this started. How would you multiply it? Is the question. Or better yet, how would you mismanage it? Your answer is connected to your internal belief system. Do you have any idea, excuse me, how many people are secretly afraid of money? They're afraid of money. They're afraid of handling money. They're afraid of the responsibility of money. They know, I just can't be trusted with it. I'm just not going to do right. I'm just not going to get it right. But that's just what they're telling themselves. And of course, it could be based off of past experiences. But again, it's what you're telling yourself, because no matter what you have done, no matter where you have come from, you can always transform your life. Whatever ignorance, it's just a fact. Sometimes you just don't know. Whatever you don't know, you can learn and you can get better. You just have to have the will to do so. So how self-worth shapes financial behavior. Ooh. So let's stay on these practical level, in practical terms. Self-worth influences almost everything in your life, whether you know it or not. Income. If you just think about income, when you are going for a job, when you went for your job, did you negotiate your salary? Do you work on increasing your skills? Do you believe in your value, that you are valuable? In your spending, do you spend to impress? And people think that when you say spending to impress, it always means impress other people. You could be spending to impress yourself. You could be trying to make yourself think that you have more or you can do more than you really can. Do you spend to numb your emotions? Emotional spending. Do you spend with intention? Investing. Do you avoid investing because you're afraid? You're afraid of what you don't know? Or do you educate yourself and take calculated actions? Here's a beautiful one that most people don't think about, but it's so important in growth and development. Boundaries. Do you overextend financially to impress others? And again, impress yourself. Or do you choose to rescue people? Help everybody else out at your own expense. Mindset is going to shape the outcome of everything. Because low self-worth says, I need approval. High self-worth says, I need alignment. You cannot build net worth if you constantly is outsourcing your values to other people's opinions of you. Let's again stay in this practical level and redefine wealth. Wealth is not just accumulation. Wealth is emotional stability, financial literacy, disciplined habits, strategic thinking, and long-term vision. It's not always about the dollar and the cents, but it's again, how do you function? How do you structure the things that you do? What kind of mindset do you have? And if you lack understanding, how much time do you invest in getting the understanding that you need? Self-worth builds those pillars in time and over time. Preventing the poor man mindset. How do we do that? I think at some point when you lack, each and every one of us may be guilty of that at some point. But let's talk about prevention. Okay? Here are 6 principles to guard your mind. The very first thing is always a fundamental, principle, and that's educate yourself relentlessly. Educate yourself means get information. Arm yourself with information. Always be reading and researching and getting information. For any and everything that you do. I'm an avid researcher for everything. If I think about I need to go and buy something, before I buy it, I done been researching for several days. I read the reviews. I do price comparison, product comparison. Oh, I do all those things. Probably a little too much, but I do it because I want to be in the best position. It's called being in an opportune position whenever I'm trying to do something. Educate yourself relentlessly. Ignorance fuels fear. That's the underpinning of the fear is lack of knowledge. I don't know. Fear blocks growth. So read and study and do all the things that you need to do so you arm yourself with information. And this is regardless of what you're going to do, whether it's a particular business, if it's in your job. I for many years I've done professional training. And I've held professional training sessions and colleges and institutions and organizations and private companies and public companies and so on and so forth. And one session, one part of my session always talks about people who are in a job, and you will ask them what they do, and they can explain, well, this is what I do. And then you ask them a question, why do you do that? More than half, much more than half, but I'd say more than half, don't really know why. They cannot, in an effective manner, explain why they do what they do, why they do the job that they do. Because a lot of times, and it's not always their fault, sometimes it's the corporation fault. Company always like to hire people and have you do a certain job, and you might not have the full understanding of the overall operation to understand how your role plays a part in the overall operation. But at the same time, you bear responsibility to know, I'm doing this, but why do I do this? And when I'm completed with this, how does it affect the company? What part does it play? That's educating yourself. That is arming yourself with education and information. And I tell you, the more a person learns not just what they do, but why they do what they do and how it affects the overall operation of the organization they're in, they get better at it. It's more meaningful. It's more impactful. They build a better understanding. This is just one example of how educating and investing in yourself and investing in knowledge has a direct and immediate impact on everything that you do. Before you even, go for major purchases or anything, make sure you arm yourself with information and ask questions. Okay? Ask questions. Understand the money mechanics. Separate emotion from spending. Before any major purchase, you should ask, is this aligned with my future? Or is this temporary, in the moment gratification that feeds my ego? Build delay gratification muscle. This is very important because if you can build the delayed gratification muscle, that means that you put yourself in a position where you got more control. And ultimately, you need control, especially as your finances grow. You're going to need control. Comfort now or freedom later. Off the time. That's what it comes down to. Right now in the news, there are several celebrities, sports athletes, and business people who were once deemed high rollers now are in financial strife. How? How? How does that happen that at one point you seem to have had it all? Money was not an object. And now you in financial strife because there was lack of self-control. They did not build their gratification muscles. And when you do not, you don't have discipline. That's the bottom line. So choose wisely. I'm a financial analyst in my stock and trade, an accountant. And so everything is about numbers in my head. You know, it's a funny thing. Numbers in my head. I always tell people when I was doing it on a daily basis, you know, I sleep numbers. But it now affects everything else in my life. That type of thinking and that type of analysis. And so track everything. I keep all receipts. I keep all records. I write everything down. Track everything because clarifying and having clarity, it creates a certain level of control that you're going to need. And once you start getting in the habits of controlling things, controlling your habits, controlling your finances, controlling your spending, now you have things under control and you're going to see the results. You're going to see the outcome and the positive impact it's going to have on your life. Track everything. Control creates confidence. And over time, that confidence builds, just like your net worth will build. Increase skills. As I said, read everything, not just income. The greatest asset that you can have, the greatest asset that you can have is you. You are the greatest asset. So redefine what you think rich is, because rich is having options, not just money. Rich is having time for the things that you really want to do, time for your loved ones. You know how many wealthy people I know who have been globe trotting and doing everything but spending time with their family. You know, they come back and when they ready to settle down and retire, they realize I don't even know my family. I've been out making the money. Rich is having the time to spend with the people you love. Rich is peace. Rich is choices. When you shift that mindset and identity, you shift behavior. When you shift behavior, in the end, ultimately, you shift outcome. Here we go. Rebuilding your self-worth. Maybe we've all done it. Maybe you've made mistakes. If you live long enough, you can never say, oh, I never made a mistake. Everybody make mistakes. We make mistakes every day, big and small. Maybe you've lost money. Maybe you have been in a position where you had to file bankruptcy. It happens to people all the time. Maybe you trusted the wrong people. It happened to us all. Maybe you didn't know. Here we go. Maybe you didn't know what you don't know. I remember my early years in my career, so ambitious, so driven, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And that's why it's important to have mentors in your life and to have people around you who've been where you need to go. And you can seek counsel. Very important. You know, I've always had that attitude when I was younger. Oh, I know it all. I don't need nobody to tell me anything. That was probably the biggest mistakes I made in my life. You need to know. And it will save you a lot of time and trouble. Anyway, so listen carefully. Your financial history is not your destiny. It doesn't matter what happened in your past. It does not. It can affect your future, but it does not define your future. Know that. Your financial history is not going to be the anchor that holds you down or holds you in place. You will be free. You will be free to go on and to do anything you want, because self-worth is rebuilt through accountability, education, small, consistent, and constant wins, healthy environment, having the right people around you, in vision casting. You know, some people create vision boards. That's always nice to do. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Always keep that vision board and keep it up where you can see it constantly, so you can look back to it and say, you know, this is where I'm going. I'm going to accomplish that. I'm going to get here. I'm going to do that. Stop calling yourself bad with money. Stop calling yourself a student. You know, let's put it this way. Don't say the negative things that's going to hold you back, because your mind, you know, even if you think it, you don't say it out loud, you know, your body, your system, your energy hears it and they feel it. It's feel it. And your body and your action behavior responds to everything that you're thinking. So if you're thinking something negative, your body and your action and your behavior subconsciously responds to that. So stop calling yourself and saying things like, I'm bad with money, and start saying things like, I am going to start to rebuild. I am going to start to transform my life. I'll be a student of money. Stop identifying with the lack and focusing on what you don't have, and start identifying with growth and focusing on where you're going. And even the small things that your accomplishment is growth and development. And that's a good thing, because here's the truth about that. You will never outperform your self-image. You will never outperform your self-image. So raise that image. If you don't see yourself as doing something great, if you don't see yourself as being something great, that's you will hold yourself in place. And if that's the case with the mindset, I assure you, your income will follow. Your income will stay in place as well. So, another self-reflective moment. Ask yourself this tonight. Do I believe I deserve financial stability? Do I have respect for money? I don't have to chase money. I don't have to praise money. But there's power in it. Power in what it can do. Do you respect that? Do I respect myself? Where am I leaking values? What identity must I release that no longer serves its purpose? Because self-worth is the foundation. Net worth is merely the structure. So build the foundation, build it up and build it strong. And the structure will follow, and it will rise. And it will rise high as you want it to. As high as you want it to. It's all possible. This is not just about wealth accumulation of material things or assets. It's about wealth consciousness. And you were born to be bigger. You were not born to think small. You were born to build and to grow and develop. You were born to multiply, to be a steward, to rise. So remember, your net worth will always mirror your self-worth. That's a fact of the matter. You cannot change that. So when you build, make sure that you build wisely. I hope that message of connecting self-worth to net worth made a difference to somebody. I hope that little message resonated and rang the bell with someone. Oh, my throat. Let me see. For those who are not certain, should you lean on ChatGPT for guidance? Oh, I like that question, because This is where we at. When there was a term that was coined many years as technology has grown and developed, and it was called the information age. We're living in the information age. Well, AI and that of ChatGPT and so many other things that are the artificial intelligence is what they were talking about when they say in the information age. Information age wasn't just about automation and technological advancements in general. The information age was about you having all the information in your hand and you can use it at will. So with ChatGPT and AI, we are seeing that information age come to fruition rapidly. So to answer the question, for those who are not certain, yes, as I mentioned in this session, growth and development, educating yourself. So ChatGPT would be a tool. But here's my caution for artificial intelligence. And I have this debate with my partner, my business partner, and other people all the time. Don't solely rely on that. So let's say for an example, if you didn't know something about any subject or anything, let's say investing. I'm interested in investing. I want to invest this week, this month, and I don't know anything about it. I strongly would not recommend you go to ChatGPT, get the result of the question you asked, and then go take action on it tomorrow. No. Don't solely rely on that one source. Check multi-sources, check online and offline, and grab books and grab, research that was done, different things like that. Have multiple sources, and now you have a wealth of information in front of you that you could make decisions for. This is what they call an informed decision. And in this information age, I hate to tell people that an informed decision is not what ChatGPT said. The results of that's not an informed decision, okay? That's just one part of it. There's nothing wrong with it, but that's one part. But that was a great question. I appreciate that. All right, so this concludes my first part of this. Thank you for bearing with me. I could hear my voice getting a little worse, but we're going to keep going. Bear with me. Give me 1 minute, and then I'm going to have the second session. But this one is going to be for everybody, because this is going to be something that is going to launch my next direction. And I'm going to help you get an understanding of how and why. And so this is going to be a great one for anybody who's leveling up, understanding where you at financially, understanding where you at right now in our current climate, and understanding where you need to go. It's going to be important. Give me a moment as I do housekeeping. Thank you for joining me with that one.